Hey, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good afternoon, fellow Republicans. Yes. This is a day I just want to say thank you for each and every one of you being here today, to being part of the process, to making sure that we put forth our agenda, to make sure that we are victorious this November. We have to win for the future of this country. I thought yesterday was one of the most remarkable days I've ever seen, when the president, who somehow believes he's the imperial president, can make a declaration like that. And this follows after the approach of taking away our religious liberties by edict in the health care bill. What he is doing to this country and to our freedoms and to our liberties is unheard of. This election is extraordinarily important, ladies and gentlemen. This is... Let me just ask a question. Raise your hand if you think that you've had more opportunities and a better life than your parents and grandparents have. How many of you say? How many of you believe today, raise your hand, that if we continue on this course, that our children and grandchildren are going to have that same kind of opportunity and chance for a better life? It is simply not there. Not if we continue. It is absolutely critical that we defeat Barack Obama, that we have a president who understands the Constitution, who understands liberties, understands individual freedoms. But that president's going to have some support too, and some help in Congress. And that's where this race comes in, my race with Congressman Boswell. And I will tell you, in this race, you're going to see the clearest difference of any candidates in the country. And this race is going to be the focus of the nation. When you look at what Leonard Boswell and Nancy Pelosi joined hands and voted for the Wall Street bank bailout, voted for the stimulus bill, which was basically just the liberal wish list for the previous 12 years of how they're going to spend your money. When you look at cap and trade that he and Nancy voted for, that would increase your utility costs 20 to 25%, 50 cents a gallon of gasoline. When you look at the health care bill, that he didn't know what was in it. Like Pelosi said, we'll have to pass it before we know what's in it. To change the 16% of our whole economy and have the government take over the health care decisions that you and your doctor should be making. When you look at the Dodd-Frank bill that Nancy Pelosi and Leonard Boswell passed. And it's interesting, he says, well, I didn't really like those things. Well, what happened between your office when you got to the floor of the House and voted? Did Nancy grab you? I voted against those things because there are principles involved in freedom in this country, about limited government, about what we have to have as a vision for those opportunities for our kids and grandchildren. It's about principle. Mr. Boswell this afternoon and across here at the other hall just talked about doing away, the American dream is in jeopardy. I will tell you, those votes put the American dream in jeopardy. And that's what the problem is today and why we have to change it. I will be very brief here, but let me just say, the reason I'm doing this again is simply because of those children and grandchildren. I just had a new grandson born January 4th. I look in the eyes of that little baby, and when it took its first breath, it owed $50,000 of its share of the national debt. It is immoral what we're doing to those kids, to those grandchildren. That's why I'm willing to stand up and fight to make sure that we can get back our freedoms, our liberties, to get some common sense in Washington, to bring reality back. We don't have another 4 years, folks. We don't have another 2 years if we don't have people in Washington that will actually do the right thing for the right reason. That's what it's all about. I will work my heart out. And I missed you this morning because I was doing a parade up in Johnston. I had to go home. I was sweating from running all over, shaking hands with folks. I will continue to work my heart out day and night and leave no stone unturned. I'll continue to work to raise the money to try and get the organization put in place for us to be successful, because this is an absolutely critical race. But I can't do anything without your help. I need each and every one of you in this great new 3rd district throughout the state to help us financially, to help us make the phone calls, to put up the yard signs, the barn signs, all of those things that make successes in campaigns. I would just implore you, this is not just about my new grandson, it's about your grandchildren and the future of this country. Please do everything possible. We can and we shall win, because we are right and we will prevail, because this is the greatest country in the world, and we've got to have the greatest people in this country stand up and fight for it. So thank you all very, very much. God bless. Have a great day.